In this video, I'm going to describe the subtest called Nonsense Word Fluency. This is a subtest given to students in kindergarten, first, second, and even third grade when necessary to track their developing reading skills. This assessment is given 3 times a year, and there are end-of-year cut scores for children taking it in grades kindergarten, first, second, and third grade. The way this assessment is given, it is timed for 1 minute. The 1 minute timing shows us that the student is able to produce the correct letter sounds or read the unit that is on the page automatically. We call that automaticity in the brain. We as adults don't know how our brain just picks up words anymore. It happens automatically. And with this 1 minute timed subtest, that is how we know that it is happening automatically for our students so that we can track that. When students do not meet these benchmarks or are not producing sounds and words fast enough, there is something that we still need to work on, and that is their automaticity. So, when a student is given this assessment, they're given a sheet very similar to the one that you see in front of you. This is not our actual assessment. This is just an example I found online. And the student will have words to read across the page from left to right. That is a requirement that we read from left to right. The student actually gets 2 scores from this one subtest. They get something called correct letter sounds, and they also get something called words read correctly. And the way we describe this to students is these are technically not words, so they're called nonsense words, but they're actually syllable parts of larger words. For example, hom could be a part or a syllable in the word homophone. So this unit here itself, by itself, is not a word, but it is a syllable part of a larger word. And that sometimes helps students with this very kind of complex thinking of they're always trying to make sense of words, right? It should be something that I hear and understand. But in this particular subtest, they're actually smaller units of bigger words. So when a student does this assessment, they can do it one of 2 ways. They can give the individual units, and that's a lot of times what our kindergartners are doing. They're going ah, t, s, l, ah, and they're giving us the units of sound. As students become developing readers, they start to understand that when we put these sounds together, it creates a unit that we say all together. So for words read correctly, the student would get the points on the assessment for saying hom, mun, tut, sem, lom. So at the end of kindergarten and beginning of first grade, students might be doing both. They might be saying ah, hom, n, mun, t, tut. They might be producing the correct letter sounds and then giving the unit. What we really want students doing by the middle to end of first grade and of course in second grade is just reading the unit. Ha, mut, tut, set, lam, ped, rep, nen, fom, im, and they have to just create the unit. When they do that and they just say the unit, they actually get the credit for the correct letter sounds as well, and they're just picking it off the page. We give this assessment in kindergarten, first, second, and third grade when necessary, so there's 4 grade levels that could potentially have this assessment. By the end of kindergarten, we give this assessment 3 times a year in fall, winter, and spring. By the spring measurement, we need our kindergartners reading 31 correct letter sounds and 7 units correctly. So that means a student might be producing more of that individual sounds, and then intermixing a unit that they can recognize like mun, and they will get the correct letter sound score and the word reading score if they read it all as one, such as mun. In first grade, students need to have 55 correct letter sounds in 1 minute and 15 units read together. And by the end of second grade, students need to be able to produce 76 units of sound and 22 units. And so that's why it's really important to start getting both sets of points by just reading the unit ham, mut, tut, set, lam. By the end of third grade, students need to be producing 105 correct letter sounds in 1 minute, along with 31 units. So you could see if they read 31 units, if you kind of times that by 3 to 4 units of sound in each word, that we need them reading the actual unit by the time they're in third grade. Ham, mut, tut, set, lam, ped, rep, nen, fam, im. And they get both credits for correct letter sounds and words read correctly. That is nonsense word fluency. You can find these examples anywhere online. You can make them up yourself at home. Time your kiddo for 1 minute. See what they're doing. If you do this at home and we do it at school, students know we are on the same team, tracking the same skills. This is the biggest predictor of reading proficiency long term, when students are blending these sounds together to read the unit. This is nonsense word fluency.